you need a team if you want to like continue growing, because you can only go so far yourself.
I mean, with 2 guys, 3 guys, I mean, you're pretty much capped at what you can do. But when you have an army behind you, your business actually starts growing, and it's growing remotely because it's, you know, doesn't need you there all the time. This video we're going to be talking about entrepreneurship, the hard truth about being an entrepreneur and what it takes, the struggles. Today my sister and I are just going to be having a normal conversation, and we're just going to be talking about, you know, what's been your struggles and what has been the hardest thing for me and as an entrepreneur. So let's just get to it. For you, what was the hardest thing going from being an employee to now being your own boss and working for yourself?
Yeah, so at the beginning, I got so excited. I was like, all right, I'm my own boss. So like I could do whatever I want. I could wake up late, I could go to bed late and all this stuff. So the scheduling, like having like a set schedule for yourself at first was pretty difficult, because I was so used to, you know, having someone do my schedule for me. Like, okay, I gotta work from 9 to 5 from Monday to Friday or whatever. And so I already knew that, okay, I had to show up at 9, and then at 5 I was done, and then I could do whatever I wanted. But when it comes to being your own boss, being an entrepreneur, you don't have that option really, because you can get, you know, a phone call at like 8 a.m. and that you have to do certain things, or like for example, like me, like last minute, I get a lot of last minute calls to do shoots. So it's just, that was really tough for me at the beginning, because I didn't think it would be like that. I thought it would be more like a consistent schedule. But yeah, so it's pretty much just like the schedule and just having like an organized day to have, you know, to make it as efficient as possible.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, definitely productive. For mine, it was tough. It was one of the toughest decisions that I've ever taken. But it has been the best decision. I mean, as much as I want to talk about how hard it is to be an entrepreneurship, I also want to talk about, you know, how satisfying it is as well. But for me, what happened with me is like going from getting a base pay or a salary, and then from getting a base pay and a salary to going and starting a business. I was making less money than I was when I was an employee. And you ask how was that, you know? Well, the thing is that like you have to invest so much money back into the business that you're literally at the end of the year, or at the end of your season, you end up with like crumbs. You know, you end up with almost nothing because you're having to reinvest all the money back into the business. So that was one of the hardest things for me. Like I said, just from making an hourly or salary pay to now working for myself and making just crumbs at the end of the day. Another thing was like you said, like, so you don't have a boss anymore because you're not working for someone, but technically your clients are your bosses, because, you know, you're still working for someone. There's no such thing as being a boss and thinking that you don't have no one you're working for. Yes, you are. Your client is pretty much that person. The only thing that changes is that now you have all these different bosses because they're obviously your clients now, you know? So, I mean, that was different. Like going from just one person that would tell me what to do to now just having all these other clients, which I mean, we've been so unfortunate. We've been so fortunate to have like super, super good clients. But yeah, I mean, that was another big one for me. Like, I was just like, oh, snap.
Yeah. So, I mean, another one for me is that, so I started filming a lot of football, and there's the football season, right? Where it's like, it's just like, it's so crazy for me. And then once football season's over, so then I have to pick up like different projects. So apart from like comparing like a steady check, you don't know exactly like if you're gonna make the same amount that you were making last month. So that's another thing that I had to learn, that now you have to go out of your way to get clients, to get more work. And with like a 9-to-5 job, like you have your job, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not 100% secure either, but I mean, it's more steady, more consistent.
Well, like what you're talking about right now, imagine having all these employees. So as my job as an owner and salesperson, that's all I have to do is guys are done doing a job, and then I have to find another job for them to do, and then another one, and then another one, and another one. So, I mean, that was another thing for me. Just making sure guys have work puts a lot on your plate as an owner, as an entrepreneur, you know, because now you're not just thinking about yourself, but you're also thinking that you have all these employees that have families and you have to provide for it. I mean, you have to provide work so they can provide for their family. So that one's a big one as well. Just making sure that you're consistent, that you're not slacking, that you're disciplined. I mean, I'm always going to say it in this podcast, like discipline is going to be like my number one word, my number one key to success is going to be discipline. And because like I said, you can't be slacking. You have guys that are looking forward to working the next day. They're looking forward for a new paycheck. So slacking is not an option. You got to keep going. You got to put in the work, and you're going to keep getting jobs after jobs after jobs, keep getting recommended from the client, and just keep going. Like I said, it puts a lot in an entrepreneur's plate, but it also, the fulfillment that you get as you know that you're closing these jobs, that clients are looking forward to working with you. In my case, working with my landscaping company and having my crew be part of their dream backyard or front yard or whatever construction job we're doing for them. I mean, that fulfillment that you get, it's the best feeling ever.
Yeah. So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So you went to school, you went to college.
Yeah.
For how long?
So I was there for 1 year.
Yeah.
Technically, I went for 2 years, but I mean, I only did 1 year because I was just going, part time.
Yeah. So you dropped out.
I dropped out. It wasn't for me. I don't think that I'm one of the people that are against college if it has nothing to do with your career or there is no money in the career that you're going for. So, I mean, if you're going to be a lawyer, a doctor, a surgeon, certified CPA or something like that, yes, go to school, you need it. But for a lot of things, I just think college is a waste of time, a waste of money. And I know a lot of people are going to say and talk against it. I mean, my dad went to college, and he's not doing what he went to school for. I'm pretty sure that college helps you a lot and helps you probably get further in life depending on where you are, because you're obviously, if you finish college and you have a degree, that means that you actually, you were disciplined enough to get something done. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't mean that you're going to be successful after that.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same with entrepreneurship. Like, it's not for everyone either. Right?
Right.
But so when you dropped out, did you already have in mind that you're like, okay, I know I could do much better? Is that the reason why you dropped out, or was there
So the reason why I dropped out is, like I said, it just wasn't for me. Like, I hated sitting down in a classroom. I hated writing papers on things that had made no sense. Like, writing papers on things that were not gonna help me with the career that I was going for. Like, why should I be writing English papers or writing, or taking just these classes where I'm trying to be a golf course superintendent? Like, how is that ever gonna help me get to where I want to be? You know, so a lot of the classes you have to take in college are just pure BS. Like, they have nothing to do with your end goal or what you want to do in life.
True. Okay. Honestly, I feel you, because at one point in my life, I was like, I don't think this is what I want to do, and I don't think it's gonna help like with my future if this is not what I really want to do. But at the end of the day, I lost my train of thought. My dad distracted me, dude. Hold on. So, school's not for everyone. All right. Do you recommend people to become an entrepreneur?
I mean, the thing is you're either gonna be an employee or you're gonna be an entrepreneur. That's the thing. So you gotta choose which one you want to do. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with doing either of them. Like I said, entrepreneurship isn't for everyone, and working for someone else isn't for anyone either. Like, isn't for everyone either, you know? So like, I recommend that if you really think that you have it in you, that you can put up with the stress with employees, that you're going to be financial, that you can get yourself to be financially educated, and you want one day to leave a legacy for your family, then I think you should really try out entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
But if it's not something that you think that you want to take that risk and throw all your tokens into, then I said no. You know, yeah. I've told a lot of people that you don't have to be an entrepreneur to be successful. You know, like, I'm not saying it's one or it's either or. It's like, you can be very successful working your job, making really good financial decisions, investing in yourself, investing in assets, and also be very successful. I mean, you don't have to be an entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
You don't have to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You could do it either way. I chose the path of being an entrepreneur because I think that I have a lot of potential that I still haven't discovered in myself. So I like pushing myself to the limits. I like taking risk. I like doing that. So that's why I took that route. And everyone else that feels that way, I think you could do it too.
Yeah.
I think that if you have that in you, then you should definitely go for it.
Yeah. Do you feel like it comes natural to you? Or do you think like over time you've built up like? I think
it's a thing, and for many people it could be different, but for me, I think it's built up because everyone's scared. I mean, everyone's scared of taking risks, and the people that take risk like nothing are probably people that are taking dumb risks. You know, they're not educated risks. So I mean, the thing about taking educated risk is that you take a risk, everything goes well, you have like a cushion to back you up, then you're able to take another risk and then another risk, and like I said, you start getting cushions. So if you do fall back, you know, the mattress is pretty soft now, where you can get back up easily and keep going. You're able to take more risk as the cushion gets bigger.
Yeah. So what are some things that have helped you become a better entrepreneur?
So it definitely has been just my mindset, like getting around same-minded individuals. And I mean, you're probably going to hear this everywhere, that, you know, just getting around high-level people and their mindset is what's gonna help you. Taking sales classes.
I know that I saw a huge change in you when you started going to like business conferences. And like you said, you started surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals. Can you talk a little bit about that? Like how that has helped?
Well, you know where we come from. We come from a really poor family. So just going to this type of events where you're around multi-millionaires, super successful people, it's another world. It's a different feeling. The way that people talk, the way that people dress, the way that they portray themselves, like it's so different, and you have to get around that if you really want to take the next step, you know?
Yeah.
So I mean, I've dropped thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in these events, you know? And I think that for me, they all have been worth it. Like, I'd rather have gone to these than I've learned more in these events than I have learned in college. You know, in one event, 3 days, I learned more about business and sales and entrepreneurship than I did that whole year of college.
Yeah.
You know? So
because they don't teach that.
Exactly. They don't teach that, and you're not around successful people like that. I mean, my professor there, you know, teaching about business but don't have a business just didn't make sense.
What are some of the biggest challenges that you have encountered as an entrepreneur?
So it's going to be, there's a lot. I mean, I think
because right now we're being transparent. So the point of this podcast is to be like 100% transparent. So that's why like we're answering these questions.
Yeah. So I think the biggest challenge is, so everything's a challenge, you know, because there is a building part when it comes to like what we do. It's landscaping. It's actually creating the piece of landscaping that we're building. There's employees, there's the financial part of it, and then there's also the getting the clients, keeping everything rolling, like I was talking earlier. For me, I think that's the most challenging thing. Just, okay, we're done with the job, and as soon as they're done with the job, I have to have another job for them. Then after that, another one. So the selling part has been very, very challenging for me, but it gets easier every time. I feel like I get better at selling. I feel like our brand is growing, and now it gets a little bit easier when it comes to making a sale, but it's still challenging because I have all these guys that are needing work the next day. So, like I said, I think that's the most challenging part for me, the selling, because not anyone can do it. I mean, sales can be one of the easiest things in your business, but unfortunately, for many people, it's the hardest. They're really good at building it. They're really good at being a team leader, and you can be good at all that, but you need to have the sales part.
All right, so you just talked about the challenges of being an entrepreneur. Let's talk about the benefits. Like, what good comes from being an entrepreneur?
So, I mean, for me, you know, we do seasonal work. So 6 to 7 months out of the year are grind. It's like nonstop. We work Monday through Sunday if we have to. But then it's the winter months here in Minnesota where everything slows down. We do a little bit of snow removal. We have that all that under contract. Guys don't really need me there. I don't have to be doing sales because I've sold those jobs already. So there's no selling to do. There's really no other thing to do other than labor when it comes to snow removal, at least for us. So I have the winter where it's my slow months, and there I can do whatever the hell I want. I mean, I could go anywhere in the world if I wanted to. So in my winters, I like traveling. I like going down to Cancun, Puerto Vallarta, Mazatlan. I mean, I like traveling, you know, and I go down to California, I go to Florida, I go to the entrepreneurship events. So like I said, I could do whatever the hell I want with my time now because I've worked my ass off for 6-7 months. And I mean, what other job or what W-2 job gives you a 4-month vacation? You know, no one does.
Yeah.
Another thing is, it's long term, you know. So when you go from working a 9 to 5 to being an entrepreneur, you're gonna be working more hours than if you were just a W-2 employee. But after many years of grinding and putting in the work, there is a reward, which is that you get all your systems in place, which we'll talk in another video. Get all your systems in place where the company is pretty much running by itself. And then now you actually do make your schedule. You do make your schedule, you know, like right now, if I want to get off at 6 p.m., say I want to get off at 6, I want to go home, I want to spend time with my family, then I do so. If it's in the weekend and my company's working, but I'm able to get off early, go back and spend time with my family while the company is running. So, I mean, it takes time. It's not going to be in your first year, second year, third year. It's going to be many years into the business, but that's going to be the reward that you're going to get for the consistency and the discipline and running your business. So, like I said, that's another thing that
yeah, and because you're able to do that, you can make more money even if you're not there, right?
Yeah, so yeah, you make money while your company is generating.
Correct. Yeah. So last year I started like seeing that because I started hiring. And at first, it was a little difficult because I was like, oh man, like I'm not sure if this person's gonna do like a good job. And that's what like kind of like held me back, because I had that mindset like, oh, like people want my work, they want me and stuff like that. But you gotta, you know, you have to build a team.
Sure.
You have to build a team, and that's one of the things that I learned from you and from like other people, that you need a team if you want to like continue growing, because you can only go so far yourself.
Yep, exactly. You can only go so far yourself. I mean, with 2 guys, 3 guys, I mean, you're pretty much capped at what you can do. But when you have an army behind you that's getting different jobs done at the same time, I mean, that's when you start creating some good culture, and you start, you know, your business actually starts growing, and it's growing remotely because it's, you know, it doesn't need you there all the time.
Yeah. So what are some things that you look for when hiring, or like when you think that it's time to let someone go? Because I mean, as hard as it is to talk about, you know, it's something that happens a lot when you're a business owner.
Yeah, I was a W-2 employee as well. You know, I was employed for a company, and I know the feeling of not being appreciated as a person. So I've always have told my guys, or I have always wanted my guys to feel appreciated, to let them know how much they mean to us, that, you know, their success, that my success is their success as well, that if I'm growing, they're growing. So when it comes to hiring new people, like, it's a lot of it is just how they are, you know, how they're oriented, they're family oriented. We don't like hiring people that drink or that smoke or anything like that. Like I said, nothing, I'm not saying nothing bad about this, just for us. I just feel like they wouldn't fit in our crew. I like guys that have goals that they want to reach, like an actual number that they want to reach, you know. So I like having guys that are oriented and they have goals in life as well as we do when it comes to how much they want to make. Guys that are always willing to do more, to get paid more, because if you want to get paid more, and that's for everyone in any company you're working in, if you want to get paid more, you got to do more, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You have to take more responsibility if you want to make more money. So I'm always looking for guys that want to take more responsibility. And when is it time to let go of a person? It's just that the other guys are feeling uncomfortable. They're the rotten apple of the group. And their attitude, the attitude, just not getting along with the rest of the guys. If it's just one guy that's doing it, then we just tell him, you know what, work's slowing down this week. I'm gonna have to let you go for a few days. I'll call you when work picks up. I'll give him a $200 bonus, you could say, because it's slowing down and I know that he has to look for another job.
It's so important to maintain a positive energy where everybody feels comfortable. And if someone's not having a good attitude or having good energy, then it could potentially like ruin your business, because then now you have clients that are probably seeing what this person is doing, and then you're the one that looks bad. So
exactly, like I said, I like my guys to enjoy working where they're working, because when I started this business, I always told myself I want my guys to have a good time like I wanted to have a good time when I was an employee. So like I said, we try to do the company get-togethers. We try to do prices. We try to do just make them feel like they're important, because they are. You know, a lot of people can say, yeah, well, my employees are really important, but you don't make them feel important. Then, you know, how are you really showing them that that's how you feel? So like I said, we try to do different things for our employees. If it's
that's important, you know, to create a culture,
create a good culture and just make them feel good. Like, and also, like, I don't want them like messing around with their work, but I do want them to enjoy. And I know you're gonna add to this, but if you think about it, employees, or at least my employees, they spend more time working with each other than they do at home with their kids or with their wife. Like more than 60% of the time they are at work. I mean, I don't know what the percentage. It might be even more than 60%.
Because I mean, you guys sometimes are working like 10 to 12 hours a day.
So you get 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh wait, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Let's say they go to sleep at 11. So that's 4 hours, and they work 12. What's 4 out of 12? So like
that's 1/3.
Like 70, that's 1/3. So like 75%.
Yeah.
Right. So like if you think about it, 75% of the time, like my employees, for example, they're working with each other. So they're spending more time with the employees, with their other colleagues, than they are with their kids or their wife. So I mean, you want them to have a good environment. You want them to have a good time when they're there. You don't want them going to work and dragging their feet because this job sucks. You want it to be somewhere where they enjoy going, they enjoy the culture, they enjoy working with their colleagues, and that's also what I look for, because when that happens, there's a lot of productivity. Shit gets done, work gets done. We made good profit. We're able to raise their pay. I mean, so much can happen when you have a good culture.
Let's say someone wants to become an entrepreneur, let's say in landscaping as well, and they're just barely starting. What do you recommend them doing?
Fucking quit. Just quit. Just go home. Just don't do it.
Don't do it, bro. It's suicide.
So if it's someone that's starting to do landscaping,
like how do you, like what do you do? Like, do you just reach out? Like,
you have no clients?
Yeah. Okay. Let's say you have no clients, nothing whatsoever, or let's say you have your business, but it's just not doing too well.
Yeah. So I mean, you gotta go old fashioned. You gotta do door knocking. I mean, I did that. I mean, when I first started and when we started growing, when I knew that I was gonna join my dad in the business, I mean, I got a lot of those flyers and I passed out maybe like, I know I printed about 2,000. There's still some somewhere, you know, that we still have here, but I think I printed about 2,000 and I did, I think we printed about 2,000, then about 1,000 we did go door knocking and left at doors. So, you know, like I said, if you want to start, you have nothing, you gotta go door knocking. You gotta let people know what it is that you do. And if you knock 1,000 doors, trust me, there's gonna be 1 or 2 people that are gonna say yes. I mean, there's no way that if you knock 100 doors, there's not gonna be 1 person that says yes to you. If you knock 200 doors, there's gonna be 2 to 3 or 4 people that say yes to you. Knock 300. So the more people you get in front of, that's gonna be your thing. That's gonna be your goal. Get in front of more people. The more people you get in front of, the more business you're gonna have.
Yeah.
Myself right now, I do about 10 estimates a day. If you think about it, that's about 50 to 60 estimates that I do per week. So I get in front of all these people and I close 3 or 4 jobs, 5 jobs. Sometimes I close 15 jobs. I mean, it always depends. But the more people you get in front of is how you're going to get more clients.
True. Do you have like any more topics?
No, but that was a good one. You should that one. You should ask me that one again. I'm gonna redo it. Like, what are you doing? I'm like, dude, that's like literally, and that's for you too, though. Like, the more people that you get in front of, if you want more work, you're gonna get in front of more people.
I mean, honestly, it's all about being confident too, you know, and knowing your stuff.
You gotta be optimistic. I mean, just because one person, if you go knock at 20 doors and they all say no, you cannot give up. You gotta be optimistic. Go after the 30, go after the 40. I'm telling you, 100% guaranteed by Angel Cortez. If you knock 100 doors, you'll at least get 1 job. Yeah. I 100% guarantee you will. Yeah. So that's what you ought to do. Just gotta get in front of more people.
And then when you try to sell, you just don't take no for an answer type of thing? Or how does that work?
So I mean, and like I said, this is for another video and it's gonna be more about sales, but it's always gonna be when a client tells you that they'll think about it, or they gotta talk to their husband, or they gotta talk to their wife, that is not a no. You gotta follow up. I follow up until they say, Angel, we don't want you here. We don't want your service. Can you stop calling? Type of shit, you know? Yeah. But if they called me for a reason, this is not about door knocking. This is more of an actual client hitting me up that wants a job. If he called me to give him an estimate, it's because in the back of his mind, he wants this job. Yeah. He doesn't like the price, but he wants this job. So he's either gonna go and try to get someone else to do it for cheaper. He's gonna wanna get someone that can do it sooner, maybe. I mean, whatever the case is, but he's not saying no to me. He's keeping me in the back of his mind, but he's not saying no. Yeah. So I gotta follow up. Hey Chris, this is Angel. Just want to follow up, making sure that you got my estimate. Is there anything I can help you with? Hey Angel, you know, right now we're thinking about it. It might not be the time. It's too expensive. Hey, I totally agree. It is expensive, but if you think about it, it's only gonna get more expensive if you do it down the road. So why don't you say we just do it right now and get over it? You know, you deserve this. You've been wanting to get this. I think it's the right decision. I think my team can execute this job. We've done jobs like this many times. So why don't we go ahead and get this done for you? You know, like I push them. And then, like I said, they're going to have an objection, and then you try to come up with something else of why. I honestly, but then again, you have to know, you have to actually believe in yourself that you are the right candidate for this job.
Mm-hmm.
That there is nobody around me that can do this job better than me. That's how I go out to estimate. That's how I do my objections. That's how I get clients.
So what's the best way to close a client? So is it through text message, phone call, Zoom call, or in person?
So I know that I had this conversation with you the other day. So I like calling the client, and that's something that I learned not too long ago from another mentor. But it was once we send out the estimate and we send it out via email, we send it out via email, we send it out via text, and then we call the customer that same day, make sure they got it, and if they had any questions. By the time, making a decision shouldn't take too long. So once they read it and they like what they see, I try to close them there, and I try to tell them why we are the best company and they shouldn't go elsewhere seeking for another estimate. So yeah, give them a call, talk to them in person. Nothing more personal than calling them instead of texting. So
that concludes this video. Honestly, I think I learned so much from you just from even listening right now. But if you guys have a question, please comment, and then we can answer all your guys' questions in the next videos.
Let us know if there's a topic that you would want us to talk about. There was a person that let us know that they wanted us to talk about our systems, of how it is that we run our business, what apps or application, what apps or software we use for invoicing, estimating, doing contracts, all that. So, we can do videos like that. But if there's anything else that you guys would like us to cover, just let us know, and we'll get it done.
Yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.